Hello and welcome back to Oxygen Not Included. Feels good to be back after a break, guys. Thank you for all your supports. Let's start by telling about today's plan. No, it's not building an infinite storage for this natural gas vent. I am going to pump out some oil. I need to tap into these oil wells because I'm gonna make a petroleum boiler. And this is the design. I'll have the oil wells submerged in oil. And over to the main asteroid, I am digging up towards the surface to build a few solar panels, which means I have to bring up the power spine as well. The sunlight on this planet is not much, so I don't expect the solar panels to be efficient, but better than nothing. I didn't forget about the rocket. I am melting the last pieces of the wall. I brought that hot uranium bottle that I melted the diamond with in the previous episode up here, and also opened a liquid steel bottle to help get the heat out of the uranium faster. I figured it transfers heat better when it is sitting in some kind of atmosphere. That uranium bottle really had a lot of heat in it. It's about to melt the wall. There we go. Hopefully it doesn't melt the ports, because that would be bad. I would have to load back. Anyway, let me clean this mess up, and in the meantime I'll come up with a self-sustaining rocket design. I forgot about something. Here for the egg chamber, I only want the molten slickster egg to drop, and as you can see there are normal slickster eggs in there. That's because the molten slickster egg chance goes up when they are dwelling in CO2 hotter than 100 degrees Celsius, and they are currently not. Well, there is only 7% chance, but still they laid normal larvae egg, so I have to fix that. First let me move all the larvae egg over to the right. The solution is adding another condition to the green signal that goes to the chute. Right now the only condition is if the room has less than 8 critter egg. I need an AND gate for that. There. And this critter sensor has to move because I want to build a conveyor element sensor, which will add another condition. Now let me see how the wiring goes. I have to connect this to the chute. I need a bridge to jump over that door. Be right back. Okay, I have to set that element sensor to be molten larva egg. And this critter sensor should be below 8. Now with this AND gate, the chute only opens to the molten larva egg if the room has less than 8 eggs. And the rest will go to the right chute and they will get drowned. The power issue is getting worse. This infinite magma storage that I built in previous episode is working. You can see it in action. 41 tons of magma so far. Yeah, that is a lot of magma going into that one tile. I'm scared now. That steam in lower right tile was not intended. That was a mistake that I made when starting this up. Polluted oxygen and steam are the two gases that are holding all that magma from bursting out. Over to the right I have 2 minor volcanoes that will help me boil the oil into petroleum. Yes, this is a petroleum boiler, very odd looking one. Haven't done the math either. I have no idea if these 2 volcanoes are gonna have enough heat for this. We'll find out when this goes wrong, I guess. I like when you build something layer by layer, like a 3D printer. Over to Grisora, this infinite natural gas storage is built. And if you don't know how this type of storage works, it's very simple. You have a gas pump to keep the vent under pressure limit, and it just pumps it into a room. In the room you have a gas vent which is submerged in a liquid. Mine is crude oil. The vent has 2 kg overpressure limit, so the liquid should be like 1 kg. Mine is 1.3. The gas is separated on top. You can see it's 265 kg right now, and I have a pump in the room to get the gas out, and it goes to the generators to power the base and the gas range, but I'm not using it. The oil wells are working. The water for them is coming from the main asteroid through the supply teleporter output. They use water to extract the oil, and the oil that comes out gets pumped into this pipeline. For now it's not getting used, but it will go all the way to the teleporter input. I'm even sending some igneous rock to the main asteroid. Over here I have finished building the petroleum boiler. The oil supply is ready and waiting. It comes from all the way that teleporter output up there and down to get to its final destination. Oh, and one of the volcanoes activated, and through this magma blade it heats these steel metal tiles. The purpose of the zigzag is to exchange heat. As the cold oil goes up, it exchanges heat with hot petroleum. Otherwise that liquid pump made of steel would get overheat damage, cause the petroleum is very hot. Let's start this up, shall we? I have to set that thermal sensor that closes the door and inject heat whenever needed from these metal tiles, which is not hot enough, but it's okay, no worries, the volcano is erupting. You see it's heating up. There are 9 tiles of distance from that opening to the steel tile, so the magma should have low enough mass to not form a tile. Okay, I shouldn't let too much oil pile up. We'll turn a little bit into petroleum and then we let it run. How much is it? No, that's nothing. Let it run a little bit more. Okay, that's enough. The thermal sensor, I'll set it now to 390 Celsius. Let's go up slowly. The temp shift plates diagonally suck the heat from the steel door.
2 hours later.
It's getting close, and the door opened. The oil is about 5 degrees short from turning into petroleum. Let me set the threshold higher. I'll set it to 399 Celsius this time. The door closed and I have petroleum. It's good to let it run on its own now. I just want to say there are better designs and guides out there on YouTube. Do yourself a favor and don't replicate my design here. Wait at least a few episodes to see if it works properly. I'm just playing casual. These are not tested. Here comes the oil and the door closes to get more heat in there. Perfect. That's too much oil right there. It's fighting the heat. I may have to cut the oil flow again. Yep, that wasn't enough petroleum starter, alright? Now it should be good. I think 660 kg in each tile holds enough heat. Second time, let's go. Also the magma blade, it's starting to fill up in the reservoir because the magma is so viscous, it doesn't spread that much. The mass here is 1840 kg for one tile, and as we move from this opening, it decreases. The oil is about to start dripping. Yep, it turns into petroleum immediately. The petroleum pipeline is finished too. It goes to 3 petroleum generators because we have 6 kg per second petroleum supply. That will definitely solve the power issues. The 4th generator is for the slicksters. Oh, I have to fix that so that they drown properly. Lesson learned. Before you build new drywall skin that you got, test them. It may hurt your eye. The oil drips at a hot temperature by the time it reaches the end, about 350 degrees. Petroleum, on the other hand, comes out at about 105 degrees because it exchanges heat with the incoming oil. I want to say that this build was a success, but still too soon. And it goes and supplies the generators with their sippy drink. And the polluted water immediately turns into steam in the air and creates this funny effect. The steam floats to the top slowly but surely. Each generator produces 2 kilowatt of electricity, which means I can at least afford the tapidizers. I want more power. Right now the current load is about 9 kilowatt and the potential is 21 kilowatt. By more power I meant magma power. Everything has been built and closed off and ready to start. I have collected quite a lot of magma, 78 tons to be exact, but I am still scared because if it solidifies I'm gonna have trouble. A very big one. Probably have to load back if it happens. I'll keep checking it every cycle until I dump all the magma in there and seal it shut. I have set the temperature threshold to 190 degrees Celsius for this one. Send green signal if above. That should send a red signal, and close the door now and start exchanging temperature. The magma is losing heat very fast. That's bad. This power source is the last resort, by the way. I should change the setting of that battery later, but for now it's fully charged. Oh, that's a little bit of steam for you. How is the magma doing? I don't think it will solidify. That joint plate is made of lead, of course is heating up, and the liquid bridge too, cause it is placed on top of it. You don't want them to exchange heat with the turbines. The turbines are nice and cold cause of the cooling loop passing over water that is underground. I wanted to say that Sweetles seem unable to tend to grapefruit plants in a planter box. That's why I had to change it and plant them in farm tiles instead. Also got my hands on an exuberant bristle blossom seed. I want to duplicate it for the rocket. I am thinking of an onboard food production. I would have liked it a lot if I had shovels. That would have been much better. Now I have to commit to unholy methods. I should probably cut this forward. Nobody wants to watch me click on this thing like a robot. Speaking of unholy methods, liquid duplications. I want to duplicate salt water and petroleum. I need a specific amount of water for it to work. And if you know me, I like moving bottles around with the move command. So I built a valve here and set it to 120 grams, and if I connect it here, water should flow, and I need to sever just a single drip. Okay, is that 120 grams? Yes it is. Someone mop that please. I have to empty the pipe again for the next bottle though. Petroleum I have, but can't say the same thing for salt water. I found salt water, but it's in the other asteroid, Grisora. I have to teleport it somehow to my home base. A quick pump setup should do. I have to use the oil pipeline and separate the salt water later. Ooh, I got exuberant grapefruit. Back in home base, I have to build a quick and easy setup to remove the salt water out of the pipe. Alright, it's ready. Let me connect the pipe here and sever the oil input. It should start pumping. Yeah, there we go. That's enough. Let me sever the pipe here and connect the oil again. Oops, I made a mistake. I'll take care of that at the base. This liquid valve is fresh and empty, so should be good to get another bottle of 120 gram water. Let me slow down the game. I'm ready to snip. Did I get it? Yep. 120 grams of water. Mop it up, please. For the salt water, it is on the way. Alright, bring it in. Some snippy snap is gonna be needed for that oopsie I made, but no big deal. Who needs filters when you have a snippy tool? Just do it manually. I didn't stifle anything either. Oh, let me cancel the pipe replacements. And there we go. That should give me a bottle of salt water to duplicate in the rocket, and petroleum should be easy to get cause I already have a few bottles here. Bottles are moved into place. Gotta start with the bottom one, which is for petroleum. Once that one is closed, I will open the salt water one. The reason I went with salt water even though I had brine in the home base was because the salt water has less salt and more water. Let's check just to make sure. And doesn't matter if you boil it or use desalinator. I think every 1 kilogram of salt water has 70 grams of salt. Yep, brine has more salt, meaning less water. And I need water to make oxygen, so I duplicate salt water, not brine. I totally didn't have to move another bottle of petroleum to fill this up. Totally didn't do that. Anyway, I need to fill this top layer with water. 120 grams of water to be exact. It needs to fill both sides of that liquid vent or it won't work. Let me see. It didn't spread as much as I had guessed. Fortunately, I have saved before. Be right back. Okay, take 2. This time the bottle is on top of that mesh tile in the middle, right in front of the liquid vent. Anyone wanna come and empty this bottle? Let me see. Oh, nice. That's how it should be. Let me close it now. I'll open this one next and repeat the process for salt water. It will take a cycle or 2. I'm finished here, just closing it off, and let me show the overlay. The amount of water is the same for both of them, but the salt water and petroleum is not, because it doesn't matter how much you have at the bottom. And if you noticed, I made an oopsie. I forgot the rocket walls were still hot, and I built a plastic tile next to it, and it boiled into sour gas. That is, of course, slowly but surely getting lost into space, because I opened up a few places. It will go away soon. I should have thought about that when I was building that plastic tile. Oh, and here I'll farm exuberant bristle blossoms. I didn't forget about the CO2. I have a pump down here where all the CO2 accumulates. I want to use that for soda fountain too, so I want to build a canister filler thingy. Let me put it here closer to the door. Gotta pipe it all up. Ooh, that's the hydrogen line for a deep freezer. Gotta go around it. I think I gotta have an overflow, knowing myself. I will forget about it. Why not make it fail-proof while we are at it? That is the input port, and when the rocket is in space, it will release the piped content into space and delete it. That should be it. Let me select exuberant bristle blossom here. Gotta plant the Weezeworts too. Okay, I think I'm ready to start a few things here. Mainly the duplicators. I poured some hot water in here to boil and hopefully stop the polluted water from off-gassing, 70 degrees Celsius and rising. For oxygen, I'm going with submerged electrolyzer, and I have vacuum. Sealed it up and ready to pressurize with oxygen. I made a gem here for the duplicates that I will print fresh for this rocket. Made a bin here to transfer the materials needed if needs be. For example, I need iron ore. No problem, I'll just check it in the bin. I love the newly added search function for the bin, by the way. Really useful. Wait, someone brought oxalite, I missed it. I made these pumps out of iron. Oops. It will cool down eventually. I started duplicating. That's how it works. When the liquid comes out of the vent, it sort of pushes back the water and creates vacuum, and then magically 1250 grams of the liquid that came out of the vent appears in each side. See, for a second there is water, then vacuum, then bam, magic. And this pump should always be on, so the price is just 240 watts of power to duplicate. Even the temperature gets duplicated. Here I have boiled the water and created some steam. I have to pump some oxygen out. To do that, first I have to build a vent outside. Let me make that a high priority. I had asked you what to name the rocket in the previous episode, and you said Blueberry Sparkle Cake. Thank you for the name suggestion, I really appreciate it. While I'm pumping this oxygen out to replace it with hydrogen to prime the electrolyzer setup, I want to let you know that I will recruit 8 duplicants in the next episode. No, 7, cause I have the Hermit. I didn't forget your name suggestions, guys. I'll name them after your comments. I was just waiting for this rocket. Anyway, that's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed and good luck!